Hi, it's Football-Oranje back to review the Netherlands' game against Turkey. We're going to preview the Euro 2024 quarterfinal, which we've been really looking forward to. A much better performance against Romania. And now we're looking forward again to getting further in this tournament. Can the Netherlands make the most of that side of the draw that they are on? I'm Michael Statham. Mike Bell's here. Abdul's here to talk about the game. Fellas, how are we feeling about it then? 2 days on from the Romania win.
I started thinking of this game yesterday, actually, after celebrating qualifying to the quarterfinal. It's a very tough match. It's first time for Oranje to qualify to the quarterfinal for a long time. Turkey since 2004, I think, or 2008. Sorry, so it's been a long time for both teams to make it in this place. Holland has the quality, and hopefully they will continue with this quality. Turkey has the passion, the enthusiasm on the players, and of course the fans will play a big impact in the match. So it's going to be a very tough match for Oranje. I hope we can win it.
Yeah, I think that after the Romania game is all excitement and all how far we can go, and then you watch the Austria-Turkey game, a lot of us are probably fearing that we get Austria again because of what happened in the last game, seeing Turkey come through it. But you've got to say they've got a lot of good players in there. They play good football, and it's going to be a tricky game. I think that the nerves will start kicking in tomorrow whenever quarterfinals are on. You know, the excitement will build, but you'll start feel nervous. This is a big occasion. The fact that the Netherlands are one game away from a semi-final, that semi-final could then lead to the final. It's getting exciting. It's in that stage where the Netherlands are where we thought they would get to, but now everything's starting to get to. We could actually see the Netherlands win a trophy, and that's exciting, and it's also a bit nerve-wracking coming into this game.
Yeah, when you see it, it's like 3 wins away. It's like, oh, that's achievable. We can do that, or even scraping extra time, his penalties, whatever, just to keep getting through. And on paper, you again look at these two teams. I'm sure there might be some Turkish football fans watching going, no, we've got a better team than the Netherlands. But realistically, the Netherlands have this quality. But again, how is Koeman going to get the best out of it? And how can we see a performance more like the Romania game than unlike the Austria game, where Austria played really well? But we know if the Netherlands play at their best, they can win these games. And we were worried again about facing an England, a France, a Germany, a Spain throughout this tournament, because we knew that we would struggle against that kind of side. Turns out that when we were watching the group games, maybe we do prefer those tighter, bigger games than those ones we're expected to win. But the Romania performance was much more like it. I think we all saw what the Dutch could do when we could sit with a lead and counter-attack and end up winning 3-0. We had so many chances. Could have been more. Finishing was the only thing I could really complain about. How do you feel about the opposition then as a whole with Turkey here?
Well, if we play the same way we played against Romania, I think it was all about the passion and the spirit, because the changes were not really too many, very few changes, maybe 2 changes against Romania from the match with Austria. But we saw the team playing completely differently. The players were fighting and they were more focused. They barely made any mistakes. So I think the lineup has no problem for Oranje. But of course, Turkey, I know they are stronger than Romania. I know they have better quality. It's not going to be the same way we beat Romania. Turkey will not give up easily. And as you said, it's only 3 matches to win, to become the champion, and only 1 match to be in the semi-final. And I'm sure Turkey will fight for that place. It's not going to be easy. Really hope we can make it.
They will, and they've got really passionate supporters. We're talking before we came on. They'll have lots of fans in that stadium because of their following in Germany as well as from Turkey. Dutch fans as well have been very noisy throughout the campaign so far. I'm sure they'll keep that up too. So it'll be a great atmosphere. Turkey as a whole, I mean, Orkun Koçu suspended. We watched him in the Netherlands for a long time, a really good player. Cody Gakpo may well start at fullback, left back. Mike, what do you make of Turkey's strengths?
I think they're a much better side than Romania, and what they've got is more pace up front, especially. They've got, Yildiz, who's had a great season at Juventus, breaking in there, young 19-year-old in one wing. Then they're going to have Arda Güler, we all know what he can do. At Real Madrid, he's known as a star man of Turkish football. Only 19 as well, and then they've got a striker like Barış Yılmaz who plays at Galatasaray. So I think that up front we're going to see a lot more threat from Turkey than we saw against
Yeah.
Romania. Main thing the Netherlands need to do is not get off to a slow start. They got off a slow start against Austria. They got off to a slow start against Romania. If they do that again against Turkey, Turkey can punish them. Then you don't want to give this Turkish side any sort of confidence to grow into the game. Other than that, Turkey's strengths, set pieces. Both their goals against Austria came from corners. Now, we've talked about how bad Netherlands are from corners, given the fact that Memphis takes them all. Arda Güler took 2, assisted 2 goals because they scored from both corners. So we need to watch that threat. Need to be switched on. I think it was it the goal against Poland where they're man marking and then conceded from a silly corner. So need to be a lot more switched on from set pieces and discipline. So you've got Juddy Shoughton and you've got Dumfries on yellow cards. So they need to be very disciplined against this Turkish side because it's been one facet of their game is that they're battling their fierce opponents. They've got a couple of players suspended. They had a couple of players suspended for the last game. It's going to be a battle out there, and it's about keeping your head cool. You don't want Dumfries to get a silly yellow card up against Kadioglu. You don't want Shoughton to get a silly yellow card try to bring down Güler. So, yeah, keep your heads, keep it tight at the back, and have a good, fast start to break down this Turkish side's confidence. Because I think that defensively, they're weak. So if you can get at them, we'll definitely score at least once.
How do you approach it in terms of attack v defense? How defensive or attacking do you go?
Mike, it's okay. You can continue.
So I think you got that perfectly right against Romania. You want to be sort of not cautious, but you want to be sort of not just all go gun ho because the speed of their attack, they can hit you on the counter. So I think the main fact that improved the team against Romania was the fact that Dumfries was back. Missing Dumfries against Austria was crucial because Hertraude and Malen did not communicate and did not have any sort of game plan between the two of them. Having Dumfries there looked much better with Malen and he looked much better with Bergwijn as well. So you need to have him back. That shores up the right-hand side. Get him bombing forward because him, as a weapon to cross to, is huge. And then you need to get the ball to Gakpo. When you see the ball mats for Netherlands, he's the one that touches the ball the least, but he's the one that's the most effective on the left. So you really need to get him the ball because you'll be coming up against probably the weaker side of the Turkish defence. I think Kadioglu on the left-hand side can combat Dumfries in terms of pace. On the right-hand side, Gakpo can have a good time. So you need to get him the ball as much as possible, let him cut inside and shoot because that's the game plan for the Netherlands. In this tournament, it's worked so far, and it'll work again if they can make sure he gets the ball.
We also have to worry about the chances we waste. We wasted the numerous chances against Romania. We only scored the second goal in the 82nd minute. So the match was pretty much 1-0 for 82 minutes. It's dangerous to keep it like that. We really have to score. The attackers need to be more focused. And yes, Turkish defenders are not really world class. We saw them making many mistakes in the first round and making amateur mistakes, actually. Maybe we can really take them down by that. But of course, Memphis has to be responsible, has to play way better than he did the previous match. I know some people were praising him. I wasn't for the chances he missed,
Yeah, I don't be too harsh on him. The game before he was even better than that, actually.
Yeah.
But then his team weren't against Austria. But yes, I thought it was okay. I'd look at Mike's player ratings after the last game, and Memphis wasn't one of the highest ones at all, actually. But you did because you had so many other people to praise, I suspect. But he is still key to the team, I think, the way that we go forward.
I think he is, but he needs to be more clinical in attack. He's not at the level of Ronaldo, in terms of...
Yeah, he's far from perfect.
He's not like that. He's not overtaking everything, and he's not one that's everyone tries to pass the ball to. Like, you can see Portugal is struggling because everything has to go through Ronaldo. They always have to try and find him. He's one taking every single corner, every single free kick, every single shot. We're not at that stage where he's like taking over everything. But somebody needs to have a word with him and say, we need you off the corners. We need you in the box, causing mayhem in there. And when he gets a chance, he needs to be more clinical, because he will be Netherlands' top goal scorer of all time. I'm 100% sure he's going to break the record. But when he's getting chances like he did against Romania, he needs to take them. Yes, he's a playmaker and he drops deep and he starts attacks. But when he's around the goal, he also needs to be the one that's scoring the goals, because that's what Netherlands need to finish these chances. And there is a part of me that thinks that Weghorst would have scored a couple of goals against Romania if he was playing that role. Robbie probably would have scored a couple of goals against Romania. So, yeah, I think that Memphis is going to start. If Netherlands reach the final, he's going to start every game until the final, and we're not going to see him drop, because Koeman says he's undroppable, basically. But he needs to be more clinical, or he's still going to have those critics coming out and saying he's not the one to lead this line. He's not the one that's good enough to play as a striker. He's always going to have that criticism unless he actually scores the goals.
Should we talk about our star man, Cody Gakpo? After some nice goals at the tournament so far, he is that standout player. Brilliant quality.
Gakpo is a key player in Oranje nowadays. We really depend on him. He creates, he scores, he causes trouble to defenders. I cannot imagine our front line without Gakpo, really. He's been doing so great in this entire tournament. I just hope he continues what he's doing in the next match against Turkey. Bergwijn was doing also great. Malen, when he came in, he completely made us forget how bad he was in the match before that, especially with the second goal he scored. It was really nice. So maybe Koeman will start again with the same lineup, with the same attackers. We all know that he's not gonna drop Memphis. We will all be surprised actually if he does. But again, the same three are enough to help us to win the match. The same three up front, I mean.
Yeah, I think that Gakpo is up there for if he scores a couple of goals and Netherlands make it far, you can put him forward for player of the tournament. And you see a lot of Premier League fans coming out and saying, "Oh, Netherlands aren't that good. Like, Gakpo's not that good. Oh, this tournament must not be good if he's scoring the goals." But you've not seen the real Cody Gakpo at Liverpool yet, because he's been playing through the middle. This is what he does when he played on the left. That last season at PSV, he did this constantly. He just played out on the left. He was unstoppable. And then as soon as he goes to Liverpool, they're like, okay, let's play him for the centre or play him at 10, which is not his role. If you play him on the left, he does this. And this is how, hopefully, how Arne Slot plays him at Liverpool. Actually, being a Newcastle fan, I hope he doesn't. But if he does this, then you'll get the best out of him. And you can see how Netherlands get the best out of him. Play him on the left, let him isolate defenders, let him run at them. And yeah, he does the business again. And I think that he's Netherlands player of the tournament so far. And he could end up being the player of the tournament if Netherlands, get to the final.
Yeah. And speaking of the midfield, if you allow me, we also need more improvement by Simons. Okay, he was better the previous match, but I noticed some hesitation. There was a very clear shot for him, but he kind of hesitated and the chance was gone. If you remember, then Gakpo got the ball and played it, backheeled it to Veerman, but Veerman almost scored it, but it did not go in. So I think Simons needs to improve more. Hopefully, we will see even a better performance in the match against Turkey.
Was it Koeman that said after the last game that Simons was the best player? Am I mistaken that?
No,
yeah, well, he did improve, yes, but not the best. I mean, we all agreed the best were Dumfries, Gakpo, definitely. Malen was doing great when he came in. Schouten was amazing. Even Reinders. Maybe those five were better than Simons. Okay, he did improve, but he wasn't the best.
So I can't decide whether you're being a little harsh, Abdul, on Simons. Maybe we expect so much from him. We almost want to depend on him. Or if you're actually quite right, I think I'm quite hard to judge. I'm more certain on Memphis, though. I know that he had a couple of bad games to start, but I've been much happier than the past couple. And Weghorst has his attributes that we can bring off the bench. I'm also happy with that substitution. I don't want to at the moment bring on Bobby and Xerxes, me personally, but I know lots of people in the live stream after the last game. We were saying that we still need to see them. That will be an improvement. Simons is a funny one. He's much better as a number 10, but I still don't know what does he do. He brings the ball forward really well. He can be a threat in the box, but misses chances a lot. He's got a nice pass on him. He's find openings for people, but sometimes does do too much on his own. I mean, for example, when he was in the box and he was twisting and turning, he's like, he should have taken the shot so much sooner than that, or finding a pass to somebody else.
Yes.
So,
well, I don't know
sometimes with him.
Yeah, I don't think I'm being harsh on him. When he played as a winger, we did not want him to play at all. But now, as a midfielder, we're all saying that he did improve big time. But we are expecting more because they called him a wonder kid, right? At some point. So he is an amazing player. And we saw some good magic by him in the previous match. But we are expecting better, really. Maybe he can reach his peak by the coming games, and he become better and better. But of course,
one of those classic players.
Definitely as number 10, he's definitely suiting Oranje as number 10. Yes.
Yeah, for a number of years, he populated our websites like Wonder Kids for lots of reasons for many years. And I think now that he's in that national team, we want him to be our best player and our star. And he's not there yet, is he?
Yeah.
Again, I want to stand up for him a bit because he got 2 assists against Romania. So he's doing what he needs to do, which is get the assists, and he's playing the right balls. Like the 2 passes that he got the assists from, you can say they're pretty simple passes, but he was still the one receiving the ball, turning, running, setting up the chances. So I think that's what you want from him. You want him to get, and I saw it constantly against Romania. He was getting into those pockets of space where he was being found. So that's what he needs to do. He was doing it against Austria as well. He was getting little pockets. He was going mental when he wasn't getting the ball. And that's what you want to see from him. Yes, there needs to be a bit more quality around the box. He needs to take more shots. But I think he's getting there. He's getting better. And I think he's actually having a much better tournament since he's become a 10. And I think this is actually going to be a good matchup because you've got Turkey's wonder kid number 10, and you've got Netherlands wonder kid number 10. One has Barcelona, links. One has Real Madrid links. A little bit of competition between Güler and Simons. So I think that'll be an interesting aspect on the pitch, and I hope that it's Simons that comes out on top because all he needs is, yes, he got his 1 goal in a friendly, but that 1 goal at the Euros, 1 special goal that we know he's capable of, and I think he could then go on to be a superstar for the rest of the tournament. He just needs that 1 moment of magic. And he almost had it. He got it against France, and it got taken away from him.
Yeah.
And we've not even said that there was a goal in the last round that was almost identical. They got allowed, and that one got.
Yes. I only have a problem with his ability to score, with his hesitation when it comes to scoring. Other than that, he's been doing great. Yes.
Okay. So the starting lineup, I think, Abdul, you're seeing it as unchanged from last time. I believe that Marlon will come in for Bergwijn. 2 goals is probably enough reason to do that, make that swap. I don't think Kimmich should be making any other swaps and changes though. It's who brings off the bench. I think we would be expecting to see Van der Ven come on for Ake again. He's done it every time. And probably Weghorst coming out at some point. Kind of no matter what the result is, whether we're winning, drawing or losing, I kind of expect to see him. And in midfield, I think Veerman comes on for Schouten. If we're getting in late in the game, we're winning, same again, because we need to keep him for the next round and just to keep his legs going, really. I think it's what comes off the bench that is probably more interesting than who's starting. I think who's starting, that's almost a done deal.
Well, if he starts with the same lineup, but he replaces Malen with the Bergwijn, the team should win, really. I mean, all the players have the quality to beat Turkey. But again, it's a knockout stage. Anything can happen. A red card can happen and ruin everything, like what happened in the previous competition, in the previous Euro. So we really have to be careful. And yes, I agree with you. I think Koeman will again bring in the same players, Van de Ven, Weghorst. If he surprises us, he will bring maybe Blind to give him more minutes to play. I don't know, but it's not going to be different. Xerxes, Broby, I doubt they will play. I'll be surprised if they do, actually.
Gravenberch.
Gravenberch as well, yes.
I think the only way we'll see Xerxes is if he gets the extra time and he gets an extra substitute, and then he's looking towards maybe penalties. Then you'll see maybe Xerxes come off the bench. But I think it's a shame. I think that pre-tournament, Weghorst got told that he was going to be a substitute, and I think there was some sort of agreement that he's got to come on in every single match because that's the only way I can see. But to be fair to him, I criticise him, but I think he's done well off the bench whenever he's come on.
Yes.
And yeah, I think other than that, the options are pretty limited. You might see, depending on how the game's going, you might see Wijnaldum instead of Veerman. But other than that, you've got 4 players that haven't seen any minutes: Maatsen, Robbie, Ravenberg, and Xerxes. And I don't think you're really going to see any of them come into it unless there's an issue somewhere. I think that De Ligt, he's got a minor injury. I think he was training on his own earlier this week. And then we'll need to see what happens with Bergwijn, because Bergwijn apparently came off an injury at halftime, maybe from a tackle. So you don't know if he's going to be fully fit or whether it was totally tactical. We'll see what happens with him.
I don't think he was injured. I think he was tired. He hasn't played any match before that. He couldn't play more than 45 minutes. I think that's the reason, but I'm not sure really.
Okay, fellas, predictions for the game.
None of my predictions worked so far.
What have your predictions been, Abdul? Can you remind us?
I expected us to beat Romania 2-1, but it was a nice win. I expected 2-0 against Austria. It did not happen. I expected 2-0 against France. It did not happen. So, yeah. But this time I will also hope and expect Oranje to win 2-0, believing that we're going to play the same way we played against Romania.
I'm going to say it's going to be...
Sorry, Mike. The scorers, again, Gakpo and Malen.
I think it's going to be an edgy 1-1 draw, and then I think we're going to have to take it to penalties. I think we'll see penalties, and hopefully Netherlands come out on top on that. But yeah, there's not a tournament where Netherlands don't take somebody to penalties, and I think this is the game where we're going to have to go through that dreaded horror show that is Netherlands in a penalty shootout. And I think that hopefully this time we bury the demons from the game against Argentina and get to the semi-final for penalties.
I'm going to set my neck out even further, and I think the penalty shootout is going to wait another round. I think that's going to come later down the line. Because I do think the Netherlands, I think the Netherlands will get through. I mean, I'll take it. We'll get through this one, but not a straightforward one at all. By any means, I don't think I'm being cocky about this one. I'm not. And wouldn't be surprised if Turkey turn up and win. We've seen the Netherlands play badly in this tournament. That could easily happen again. I don't think we'll be too surprised by that. I think we'll be really annoyed. I think we feel like we're throwing a chance away. But I'm going to stick out my neck and I'm going to say the Netherlands to win this one. My predictions, I think I would have been okay, but I've not really got any right. I think I predicted us to beat Poland. I think I predicted a draw against France. Someone can go back and check and probably say, no, you're wrong. And then Austria, I did predict we'd have difficulties with them, and I said a draw, but then we lost. And then Romania, I said we'd win in extra time, and we won comfortably. So if I predict us to win comfortably, I feel like that's just going to be an ultimate jinx. So I'm going to say the Netherlands will win in extra time. I think I agree with Mike, I think 1-1, but I think we'll get a second one in extra time. And we will save ourselves the pain of penalties for now.
Yeah.
When you think of in the extra time, who you going to say is going to be the one that scores the winning goal? Are you thinking of Weghorst?
Weghorst, absolutely. Yeah.
In the 120th minute, getting up there and sliding one in.
Well, all the records say that we are really bad in penalty shootouts. I tweeted once, maybe a few days ago, that out of 32 penalties Oranje received, only 6 were saved by the goalkeeper. The rest were all in all the penalty shootouts we played. And out of 11 matches, we won only 2 in penalties. So it's not really promising. So I hope we don't go that far to reach penalties,
Would you rather lose then, Abdul?
No, of course, I would want us to win the game. But playing against Germany, Spain, maybe even England in penalties, because I know England also has some bad luck in penalties. So if we play these teams, I don't think we will win in penalties.
Yeah, hopefully we can save that pain. But thank you both. And I mean, just pure excitement levels. How are you feeling? Or is it not too early yet?
Tomorrow I'll be a nervous wreck, and then when I get to tomorrow night, I'll be a nervous wreck, and then Saturday I won't be able to. Yeah, eating food's not going to be easy on Saturday. I'll be too on edge, and it's the past couple of games have been 5 o'clock, so it's been manageable, and I've been on days where I'm working, so work's taking my mind off it. But being on 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, this is going to be all days. It's going to be building towards it. Then I'm going to have to sit for an England game. And then if England win, I'll be annoyed, and then I'll be waiting for Netherlands game. So yeah, it's going to be edgy, but yeah, it's exciting. We could have been out by this point. I think we all thought after Austria that we were doomed, and we're still 1 game away from the semi-finals. So yeah, it's just exciting.
Well, the heat started from today, actually, for me, just right before this stream. The heat started just before I put the jersey on. So I think it will keep rising until the match. And the match, I think I'll be really worried. So hopefully we will get the best of it and win it.
I mean,
we miss seeing Holland in the Euro semi-final. That's something hasn't happened since 2004. We really miss it. 20 years now.
That is a long time. You've got to take your chances when they come. This is a great chance, fantastic opportunity to do it. When you look at the other side of a draw, you're like, glad I'm not there.
With all due respect to Switzerland and England, but if Switzerland defeats England, this will also be a boost for Oranje. You know, Switzerland is a very good team, but again, it's not one of the big names.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
they're probably thinking exactly the same thing looking at us. So
exactly. So it could be really a great chance to go all the way to the final, and then anything can happen.
Yeah, I think
this team. Go on.
I think that there's a lot of English podcasts out there from the big newspapers that are pretty much saying that if they get past Switzerland, they're in the final, basically. So yeah, I think both countries are looking at this as a huge opportunity, but England has such a good record against Switzerland. I think they play them all the time and they always beat them. And I think Southgate's changing his tactics to something that probably suits them a bit better. So yeah, I think it's gonna. If Netherlands get through, I do generally think it's going to be a Netherlands England semi-final. And it's going to be tough.
Could be. Yeah.
More than that when we get there, rather than now. I think tomorrow it's going to be a lot of excitement with the other quarterfinals happening and just enjoying the tournament. They're going to be tasty games. And then, Saturday is going to be, like you said, 8 o'clock is British time, of course. And we're just going to be there, like, I think the whole day about the game. I mean, it's even later for you, Abdul, isn't it? It's like the end of the day.
The match will end at midnight. Yeah.
I mean, if the match goes on to midnight in this country, then we've had a lot of penalties.
Oh yeah. I mean, if the match goes to extra time and penalties, then it might be at 1 a.m. in my country.
And then you got to come
I'll be happy.
Post-match stream.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I will be happy to do it if we win, of course. You know.
I remember that if we lose, and I'll just see a very glum face.
Yeah. I hope.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. And just to give a shout out, of course, to anyone watching, listening, you might be listening to this on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or YouTube. Leave us a comment down below. Give us a like. Help us keep growing. It's been fantastic growing with you guys throughout the tournament. Bringing back lots of old fans as well that come for the big tournaments. But yeah, thank you so much. And same thing again, please keep it coming and just keep supporting us and sharing. And we'll see you in the post-match stream. Come rain or shine. Bye, everyone.